WHAS 11 Weather First.
A January thaw is almost here. You're taking a live look over the city of Louisville as Kentuckiana hunkers down for one last night of that bitter cold. Hello everyone, I'm Alex Dieterer. Thanks so much for joining us here at 6:30. Right now, meteorologist Alden German has a first look at those temperatures and the warm-up that's on the way. Alden.
Alex, it's going to feel very nice, and as our temperatures climb, it's almost going to feel like summer to us as we head into the middle parts of this week. Looking outside right now, things are pretty quiet out there as we check out the bridges. Otherwise, our temperatures are currently sitting in the 20s, 26 degrees here in the metro. It feels like the teens, however, but the good news is that it's not going to be getting as cold tonight as what it was earlier this morning. It feels like 19 here in the metro, 17-degree wind chill in Shepherdsville and in E-Town. These are also going to be vastly improved compared to what we experienced last night. Temperatures will be falling only to about 20 degrees, so relatively warm speaking, you could say. And then we should be warmer tomorrow morning by the mid-morning hours than we were for the entirety of it today. But we still have a lot of changes coming our way, including those warmer temperatures. I'll let you know what's also going to be coming with them. Alex.
Thank you, Alden. We have breaking news for you right here at 6:30. A man is dead after a shooting right outside 4th Street Live. Just before 4 this afternoon, police were dispatched to 4th Street and Liberty to reports of a shooting. When officers arrived, they found a man had been fatally shot. Right now, there are no known suspects. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the anonymous tip line. That's 574 LMPD. As weather is once again expected to be bitterly cold tonight, Operation White Flag is still in effect. Several organizations have opened up temporary shelters to take in extra people in need of a warm place to stay. That includes the South End Street Angels. They've been working in South Louisville at Hope International AOH Church of God, and in just 7 days, South End Street Angels leader Amanda Mills says volunteers have helped 6 people enter recovery treatment programs, 1 person find permanent housing, and has overseen 32 housing assessments.
Like I made a difference. And they're truly grateful, and they've done amazing. We haven't had any major incidents this week at all. In fact, the police came and brought donations. And so it's just been truly amazing.
Friday was the last day for the South End Street Angels pop-up shelter. However, TARC is offering free rides to anyone who needs shelter. The Kentucky Science Center was forced to close down today after pipes burst in the facility. In a release sent this morning, the Science Center said that a water main broke overnight, and they did tell us just before 4 this afternoon that repairs have already been made and they will be back open tomorrow. Today's Mike's Car Wash was offering free car washes after salt and brine has been coating the roads for several days now. While the salt and brine has made the roadways clear and safe to drive on, it can also cause damage to cars, rusting them the longer it's on. Organizers say that's one reason why it's important to get a car wash after the cold weather.
Salt, it's a corrosive. It's going to eat away at the paint and the different materials on the car. So going through the car wash gets all that salt off the car. The wash, the Ultimate Ceramic, does include an underbody wash, so that flushes all the salt from the underside of the car, so that all those moving parts underneath don't corrode or rust or anything like that.
Today's free car wash was in celebration of Mike's Car Wash opening a new location. They partnered with USAA Cares and collected donations to help the organization to help veterans find jobs. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams is pushing back against his own party's effort to eliminate 3 days of early voting in the Commonwealth. Adams urged lawmakers this week to not go backwards as he defends the no-excuse in-person early voting. The current law allows Kentuckians to go to the polls on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before an election.
It would be catastrophic going into a presidential election with very high turnout anticipated to take away 3 of our 4 voting days. It will be challenge enough to shoehorn an expected 2 million voters into 4 days. I don't know how we would fit this many voters into just 1 day without major problems.
Right now, a bill filed in the Senate is looking to end the early voting days. Republican Senator John Schickel, the bill's lead sponsor, has been promoting the bill on the Senate floor as it waits for a hearing in committees.
An election day was established to be special, not something to be taken casually or as an afterthought. The reason you have to get an excuse is because it's important. We lament that civics amongst our young people is lacking. But what kind of example are we setting when we say Election Day can be an afterthought, that it's not important? Maybe it's best that you vote from the couch, not even leave the house.
Right now, the measure has drawn support from at least 6 Republicans who are co-sponsoring the bill. Meanwhile, a new bill filed this week would force school employees to tell parents if their child wishes to use pronouns that do not align with their biological sex. House Bill 304 is similar to legislation passed and filed last session targeting transgender students in the Commonwealth. The bill would also allow teachers to ignore students' preferred pronouns and forbid policies that force teachers to use their students' preferred pronouns. Parents could also object to any lesson being taught under religious or moral beliefs. The bill says if an objection is received, schools could not teach that student the lesson that parents objected to. A new bill filed in Kentucky is looking to change how cities can handle discrimination rules over Section 8 housing. House Bill 18 would allow landlords to not rent to people who use housing vouchers. The vouchers are given to low-income people by the federal government and can be used to cover all or part of a person's rent. A Louisville ordinance passed unanimously back in 2020 prohibits landlords from discriminating against renters based on source of income. Lexington lawmakers are considering a similar ban. However, the bill's sponsor, Ryan Dotson, calls these ordinances government overreach.
Now you'll see, and I've talked with some landlords, I've met with some landlord associations, and many of them are just pulling up stakes out of Louisville, pulling up stakes out of Fayette County because they don't want to deal with this. It's a blatant government overreach.
The ordinance that we have drafted simply calls out a form of indirect discrimination by not allowing a landlord to simply say, I do not accept vouchers, as their single method of removing a possible tenant from their applicant pool. It is simply that. It is nothing more. Nothing forces a landlord to enter into the partnership with the government if they don't care to.
Passed out of committee Thursday and is now heading to the House floor.